hold an Olympic gold medal.
Oh, Olympic gold medal for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
We're in the same boat, of course.
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, they give out like 20 or 30 Olympic gold medals at the Olympics, but who cares?
I have a couple of opinions on that.
A world record only means that doesn't mean you're the best. I don't believe a world record means you're the best. It just means you're the fastest or the furthest jumper or thrower to do it. It doesn't mean you're the best. You just did it faster. And with all this technology advancement and everything else, you know, what we do today in 30 years may be commonplace. So what does a record mean that if I ran 9:57 or something? If I ran 9:57 today and then in 30 years down the line, you know, somebody's running 9:37, I don't, you know, I ain't got the world record anymore and I have nothing else.
Viewers, you can chime in on this.
You can't take any of those medals or any of that other stuff away. That's why I just wanted to win all the time.
I hear that.
I did not care what the time was.
I hear that. We'll try not to stay on this for too long, but viewers, you can chime in on this. Just hear me out, though. Right? Now, what I don't like to do is obviously up to this point, Olympic medals has been the priority and has been what the focus has been. And that's been the goal. So I respect it from that standpoint. But in the future, for the betterment of the sport, I don't want the reliance to be on the Olympics for track and field to have some relevance. So to say that the Olympic medal is bigger than running a fast time, I'm trying to kind of veer away from that. But when you think about when you set a world record, you are the best in that moment. No one has ever been better than you. Like you were the best.
No, nobody's ever been faster than you. Nobody's ever been faster.
Good point. But still, no one's ever been faster than you, dog. Like no one. You're the best ever. You for a moment, you were the best that ever even walked the earth in this speed-wise and whatever event it is, or throw-wise, jump-wise, whatever. I think there's a lot behind that. For a moment in time, there was no one on top of you. Pause.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
You know what
I
I'm
mean, if
saying?
you're talking about advancement of the sport, I feel you. We definitely need performances and things like that to advance the sport. But I just mean personally for me, I didn't do track and field to like think about, hey, I need to carry the sport on my back and advance the sport. I was out here just trying to like do the best that I could because I love doing this and I wanted to just win.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, and I think we're in a little bit of a transitional stage right now, where up until this point, the Olympics has been the be all and end all. That is what it's been. But what we're seeing is like just even like how, you know, the whole thing is set up and how the athletes basically don't get what they deserve. They don't like the whole IOC, the contracts they have to sign, all this stuff, right? Which is not set up for the athletes to win. Really, that is set up for the IOC to make money, right? So, but up until this point, it has been all about the Olympics. Now you see and that's where the thing with social media and stuff, you see the transition, even from the last Olympics where the whole US team were like, we're not having it. We want to change that rule. Was it rule
30?
You know about
Is it rule 30?
Yes, rule 30.
Or was it rule 40? It was one of the
rule 40. I think.
Yeah, 40 might be it. Yeah,
I think it was 40.
It just it's changing now. You know that the voice, you're able to have a voice. So I feel like, for me, I think up until this point, my mentality, it was always a gold medal. But now, on this side of things, it shouldn't be about that so much. I think it should be more about the athletes doing more and getting more really for themselves.
So I convinced you. I feel like
but I mean, the athletes should get more, but you know, when you're like a career, when you go, you know, I don't know who's got the bits record. Okay, Grant Holloway, like you were saying earlier, he goes out there and runs 12:79 at the next race he runs and breaks Harry's Merritt's record. Harry's Merritt still is the Olympic gold medalist.
Right.
You know, that never change. Anytime he gets introduced or, you know, inducted to these Hall of Fames, world record, like, you know, I had the American record before Merritt, you know, broke the world record. So, you know, that's gone. You know, so, but I mean, he still got the medals and everything else.
Right. Okay, yeah, absolutely.
That's how I've always seen it, but I feel like we are in a little bit of change. Do you know, I love how David is like, I don't really know about these times or these heights. You were just about the win. Like, it's just, I don't know what this person's doing, what that man's doing. You know, where you have like, I heard like an Atto Bolden used to know every single thing about every single one of his competitors, what their best reaction times were, this, that. You know, you're like, I don't know. I'm just about the win.
So you didn't study your competitors at all?
Oh, no, I just like to watch them and see what they did well. You know, it's like, oh, man, shoot, Liu Zhang, man, that guy's a monster. Wow. You know, I watched it more to just watch how great they were.
Okay.
were doing, but it was because why did it matter? I don't care. You know, if they were doing over there, those 10 hurdles had no bearing on what I was like, oh, if I get out, I'm gonna do this, or I didn't care about that. Like when you race people enough, you know, like with Robles, I was like, you know, I ain't never gonna beat this guy to the first hurdle, so I'm gonna just stay in my lane and see, you know, I should be able to catch up at the end. You know, you do know stuff like that, but as far as like, this flight time or that touchdown was this and that, you got paralysis by overanalysis as an athlete, and I wasn't really that interested. Now, as a coach, I love that stuff though. I love all of that data points and who's looking like this on their flight time, what this max velocity is, where they're hitting it at. And I love that. As an athlete, I couldn't care less. Okay. Couldn't care less.
Rivalries are brewing now with the women. As you can say, you tuned in. You were about to miss that 100 today. You said that, right?
Nah, no way.
So lead us by telling us who you looked at as rivals back when you were running, and tell me what you think about rivalries becoming more prominent in the sport today and the sport moving forward.
Well, rivalries, I think, are really important in the sport. For me, it's always hard in the hurdles because, you know, it's always so many good guys. Even say now with Grant Holloway, I wouldn't look and be like, Parchment is his rival because he beat him at the meet. I think Grant's rival is just the 10 hurdles. You know, because if he does that right, nobody will ever beat him.
Right.
You know, I won't say ever because injuries and things, but I mean, at this moment. So, I mean, that's always was my rival, was whatever the 10 hurdles was, because I needed to just focus and do that right, because it didn't matter what anybody else was doing, you know. But I know in like the 100 and things like that, it matters a lot. You know, these people wouldn't even race each other, if, you know, all that. You see the hurdles always line up together. You know, it was always.
Yeah, we were talking about that in one of the episodes, how people don't want to line up no more.
The men.
Yeah, the men. I don't know what it is.
The men 100-meter runners.
The men don't. I don't know.
Do it. The women, they're just in it. Like
Well, that's why the women part of track and field is the best.
They're killing right now.
Women's track and field.
They're killing right now.
Is the best. Like, yeah. And there's like watching the Olympic part. The women's was like, outside of like 400 hurdles and events I like on the men's side, the women's was the most entertaining thing to watch. You got Allison kind of segueing out. Unfortunately, you know, we won't get to see the GOAT perform, you know, much more, which is unfortunate. But it comes to an end for us all, unfortunately. But we're segueing right into a great group of young women that are getting it done. Mm-hmm. Like I said, Sydney and Mo, and you know, some of the sprinters and Gabrielle Thomas and all these other young women that you know look amazing. They perform amazing. You know, they're doing amazing things away from the track. You know, I think those individuals should be being highlighted far more than. You know, but we all know controversy sells. So, I mean, that's how it is in culture. And, but I mean, there's still time to talk about those young women that are being absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, like, why do you think that those aren't getting attention, those results, those people, those figures?
Because they just run fast and everybody runs fast and track that win.
Is that not a problem though? Like, obviously the times ain't getting the eyes, you know what I'm saying? So if we care about the sport moving forward, how do these individual athletes make themselves accountable for why they're not being spoken about, why they're not news, why they're not? Because I think there's a lot of people saying, well, why don't we focus on this? Well, why don't we focus on that? Cool, but why should we focus on this? Why should we focus on that? That's where the athletes have to become accountable, right? Like, why should I watch you? You know what I'm saying? Why should I be impressed with you? Because you're fast? Okay, cool. Well, what else?
Yeah, but does everybody have to be extravagant?
No. That's my point. You don't have to be. It's like there's one extreme to another. You're extravagant or you're boring. There's so much range between social media.
You can tell your own story. Nobody can stop you from telling your own story on all these social media outlets and build your own personal following.
Right.
You know, that nothing can stop you. It's not back when we were running and there was nothing that you had to rely on, you know, going to meets and, you know, press conferences, doing those things to get noticed. These kids can go out there and tell every last story that they have on their own platforms now.
Right.
So you can become interesting if you are interesting. I don't think I never found myself to be that interesting. I just went to run. No.
There's got to be something else, whether it's like there has to be a level of authenticity. You know what I'm saying? We ain't trying to see all these robots out here just saying all the expected answers and responses, having this stoic demeanor every second. Like, no one cares about that. No one wants to see that. And say something. Let me know who you are. You know what I'm saying? I think.
But it's like, say what though? What would say what that would be of that interest?
I remember at the US trials, they did that whole thing, like on NBC, they were doing the stories on like some of the athletes and like behind the scenes and going. Me personally, I like that. I love Dalilah. I feel like Dalilah, but to me, she was a little bit subdued. Like I didn't really feel like, other than her technique and what she was doing, but personality-wise, she was quite quiet, right? I didn't really know nothing about her. When I saw her story, her family, where she came from, I was like, oh, it makes sense. Okay. Oh, I'm rooting for her way more, because guess what? You know what performances do? They get you in your head. They get that head. What the story does is it gets you in your heart. Which one is going to last longer? Which connection is going to be something that's
it's going to be the connection to your heart, and man. You know, it's always going to be.
So it's not an athlete issue. Maybe it's a media issue.
Wow.
You know,
that's the media, because the athletes know we're only on TV for 10 seconds to do 100 runners.
It's a media issue. So
how much can you do in 10 seconds, even with a 1 minute, 2 question interview at the end of the race? What can you really accomplish in that?
Right.
The story's got to be told. That's where post-race shows, absolutely. You guys coming on, getting these athletes in, the athletes doing things on their own. Nothing can stop
features, mini docs.
Hiring a film company and filming their own 24/7 type of like HBO did leading up to the trials or something like that.
Right.
You know, what stops you from doing it?
Have you seen some of those, what is it called? The World's Greatest?
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen some of those videos?
There's these, like, they did.
No, I haven't checked them out.
Yeah. I came across them by accident, but they're doing some unique things with the athletes where, you know, you see a different side of them. You know, I think maybe the athletes just need opportunities. Stuff. Yeah. Maybe the athletes just need opportunities to show who they are.
Yeah, well, I mean, what are you doing all the time? Like outside of these 10 seconds or 50 seconds or whatever I see you on the track, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yo, let me acknowledge some of these comments real quick. My apologies. Look, no one's asking for no UFC shit. No one's asking for people to get mashed up at a press conference. I'm saying show some personality. It's always one extreme to another. It's either be boring or be fighting. There's so much range in between that. I'm saying we want some drama. We want something. We want a story, just like any other sport. That's what we want. Track athletes can't just be about stats and times. It's not selling.
Built for it. Some athletes are built for it. Like David was saying, you were never built for that life, right?
Man, if they would have called me saying USA Track and Field or whoever comes to my, hey man, you know, we want to do a 24/7. We want to follow you around for this fall, and you know we're gonna release episodes every week about. I'm like, oh hell no, I ain't signed up for that. I'm not signing up for that.
Yeah,
that wasn't my personality, but it's a lot of athletes.
But David, wait a second. You used to talk. Like I let you say this before, but you used.
I'm never gonna be at a meet talking shit to opponents though.
You haven't stopped running that long, Doc. I was there, Doc. Like, don't do that. Come on, man. You had a side to you, and the thing is, you know better than anybody. The athletes are doing it amongst themselves. Whether they're doing it amongst themselves, the talking shit, or with their camps or whatever. So whether or not you want to do it outwardly, it's up to you. Don't if you don't want to, but there should be a freedom to do it if you want to. And then
I think there's a lot of athletes that would love it. I was saying to Anson, like, you know, like you've got your agent, right? You got the agents, you know that there's a big meet. Let's say in the Prefontaine or whatever, leading up to that, right? You've got your agents, you know that you've got the press conference coming up. Let's do a little, you see it in boxing. We're not saying mash people up. No, we're not saying that. But let's just say your agent speaks to that agent and they're like, look, we know that there's going to be a hype around this. Let's give them a little something to play with. One athlete might be like, hell no, that's not in me. I don't want to do that. But there's going to be plenty of athletes that would love that. They're like, say a little 1-2 thing, and then it brings hype. It brings a little bit of excitement, but the athletes are in on it. It's not like the athletes are being set up. The athletes are in on it. They understand what that could potentially do for their profile, what it could do for the sport to bring a little bit of, you know, a little bit more excitement in. I'm like, why would that not be something people would do?
I want to feel the competitiveness because it's there. It's not like they're making it up. We know it's there. I want to feel it. As a viewer on this side now, I want to feel it because I know what it is. And it's not what's being displayed.
But let's say on the flip side, though, people that like track and field and is going to watch no matter what, like those people, they don't need that. So I don't know. I think track is in a
Track can't be for track fans, man. Track can't be for track fans. Track can't be for track fans. It's bigger than the track fans.
Yeah, it's like a niche sport, though. It's not. I don't think that track is a sport because, like you said, it's too much to follow.
Oh, you're
if I'm a guy that loves the throws, I'm gonna watch the throws. You got people that watch track and field that when the 3,000 steeplechase comes on, they like, oh, I'm out.
Well, it's lunch break, it's washroom break.
Yeah, you're not a track fan. You like certain things.
Right, of course.
And I think that's what the majority of track is outside of like the Olympics. And I think they only like Olympics because of the stories, because the Olympics tell stories. And that's why those things are on NBC and all those types of things, because they want to tell stories. It's not really for fans of the sport.
Right. So for that to cross over throughout in the middle of the quadrennial as opposed to just every 4 years, why can't that happen?
I don't know. I just don't think track is a sport for that. I think it is like going to be for hardcore niche fans.
It's because it hasn't been for that. Now, if you think everyone,
I think it has been. Everyone, remember, we used to have wide world of sports and doing all those types of things way back, and then somewhere along the way,
people would watch. But that was back.
But Howard, what's there to watch now when there's only 6 meets a year to go to?
But that's the thing. You have to those 6 meets have to be produced and presented in the most amazing fashion. The rivalries have to be highlighted. The characters have to be highlighted. The stories have to be highlighted. Make the most out of those. You got to get folks
to line up, though.
Okay,
and I think
that's another thing. But if you pay them, they will come.
Yeah.
If it's presented well and if it's a spectacle, the athletes are going to want to do it, yo. Like to line up against someone where you're not necessarily going to get the money that you want, and you kind of give them you take a L when you don't really want to at a crucial part of the season. Why gamble it? You know what I'm saying? If it's something. I'll gamble it. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be on TV. A lot of people will be watching.
But that's what we're talking about. Even the women now, they're lining up against each other regardless. They're lining up against each other.
They just think different.
It's just
they're on one right now.
I said this from a long time ago. Like at the beginning of the season, I was like, why the women will line up, the men don't line up. You know, obviously you need them lining up to get that, but they do need to pay them. They need to make it a way better presentation of how they present the sport, because even like today, the stream came on and then they showed Carson and then just straight away into the run. Like they didn't even do the lineup. Like what the hell is this? Like what?
Yeah, even this I don't know.
Yeah, ran 10:54 the other day.
Like it's not an acting team.
Right.
It's a media presentation, meet director, meet promotion.
Okay,
yeah. Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. Because we got so many.
All Elaine and Shelly was out there for was 10.6 seconds. There was no interview. That's what I'm saying. That's where a post-race show comes in. You get the interviews with Shelly. Yeah, just like they do in every other sport.
Yeah, NBA and TNT.
That's where you start getting people interested in stories that might happen. You know, you could ask her, hey, have a sit down. Hey, we have a feature, one-on-one sit down. We're sitting with Sha'Carri Richardson and talk about stuff in the midst of the show, just like they do NFL Countdown. And all these other pre-game, post-game shows for all these other sports. That's how media can help to get these people to move it from a niche sport into something that's more mainstream.
Right.
I mean, but it has to be. I mean, the athletes only can control it so much. If I show up in the Diamond League and it's supposed to be the Lausanne, but they don't have my event, or I'm watching this and it's like, wow, this is the best race after the Olympics. And they say the 110 hurdles, but heck, the Olympic silver medalists ain't there. Who are these people in this race? What is the draw for me to watch this? Why?
Right.
I look at the start list and I'm like, I'm not really that interested in this. Oh, I'm definitely watching that. I'm gonna set an alarm. So true. Just like Prefontaine, when was that 100? Oh, it's at 4:41.
They did a great
job.
They did a great job. Prefontaine got the lineups straight after the Olympics.
Yeah.
But
it's because it's Nike though, because you got to do Prefontaine.
And they're seeping.
You always had to do Prefontaine.
Oh, you had to do it. It's contracted.
Yeah. They're seeping into other contracts too. They're seeping into other shoe companies' contracts too. You got to go to Pre, even if you're with Puma, you're with whoever, because.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. That's pretty. Hey, look, man. We need matchups though.
We do.
Every time I turn on the TV, I want to see, if it's a 400 hurdles, I want to see Rai Benjamin, and I want to see the Brazilian guy, and I want to see Warholm. I want to see that. I don't want to have to wait 4 years so I can watch them race against each other.
Absolutely.
So matchups are crucial. We can.
So
all
maybe
agree.
these people need to get together, get with all these agents, say, hey, here's these 6 meets. We're going to give y'all this much money to make sure y'all come to all 6 of these meets. We need the top 3 in every event.
Yes.
These 6, y'all going to have, I don't know, say the 110s, the 400 hurdles, 100, whatever. And these 6 meets over here, we're going to have these. We need every meet. here's a contract for these 6 meets that y'all gonna do outside of the national championships and the worlds and Olympics. Guarantee 6, you come here, we're gonna cut you this check right here up front.
Got something here. You got something here.
And there you go. I don't know however much money it takes.
Right. And then when you know the athletes are going to be there, then from a media standpoint, you can then
and I can hype this up the whole entire time.
Set it up to be able to tell some stories or create some events or create some
a week beforehand, and you got Paris coming up. Hey, we got the women's 400 hurdles. We got Sydney. We got Femke Bowl. We got Muhammad. We got Shamir Little.
Even if you know a month in advance, track is tricky. You never know what can happen.
Well, we know.
Yeah, you never know.
I know in January that these people are coming to these 6 meets.
Yes, there's so much you can do.
We're gonna have everybody.
Yes. Yes.
It's simple, man.
They're being lazy. We've said this before. They're lazy, and they're very lazy. They're the meat promote the way that they do. It's just laziness. They just like we got the athletes. We got a couple athletes.
The same thing out every week, every year. It's the same. The production for the Diamond League is probably the same as when it first started in 2016.
Nothing's changed.
It's probably worse, actually.
Maybe there does need to be just a few meets because there's all these other ones now. Like I like the fact that we get to watch all the athletes because before it was like ridiculous. We didn't get to watch any meets. We'd have to look at results. There was no live stream, so it's good. But the money that's going into all the other live streams, like the Golden Spike, what are they called? The Golden Spike Continental Tours and all of these. There's like loads of them, right? They're obviously putting a lot of money into that. And then,
but they're not presented well.
They're not presented. They're not presented well. The commentary, they just everything about it is just boring. So it's
just crappy.
It's purely for track fans only.
Yeah, just watch the race. Here's the race.
Let me watch the race.
And we're gonna sit there and watch them too.
We will, and we'll find it. We'll be looking through for all the streams and everything. We're the ones that are looking for it, but no one else is gonna look for that. Yeah. Jade was saying to just get like the local feed for people who want to watch a stream for the Continental Tours, and then the money that you would have used to try and broadcast it in a subpar way, stack it all up. Put it towards whatever meets the 6 meets that we're talking about, the Diamond Leagues. Make those pristine. Make those amazing.
Show.
You know what I'm saying?
Then as a promoter, it's like, but what am I getting out of that? My stadium's going to be sold out because I'm in Switzerland and Lausanne, and this is what these cats live for. Is this meet every single year? So my stadium's going to be sold out. Everybody in Switzerland's going to be watching locally.
True, but
what is the advantage I get?
Once you bring advertisers into it, then there's a benefit of creating relationships and also creating more money. You can never have too much money. You know what I'm saying? So
you never can.
We sold out the stadium. Well, what else could we get? We can get this too. We can get whatever more millions on top of this. Cool, I can do this. Oh, to secure this athlete. Okay, we could drop a couple more dollars on them to secure that. The advertisers will come in if it's something big. They'll want in on it.
Yeah,
people are gonna be watching. Okay, well, I want my name on the billboards. I want my name coming. I want an advertising commercial coming up in the middle of the event. I want my commercials coming up during the broadcast. I don't know, whatever else. I want my water there. I don't know, whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
Yeah. There's money. If people are there, if people are watching, everybody wants in on that, yo.
The people that probably got the most personality are the field eventers, and they don't really get no time on air.
Don't get Jay started. Yeah.
And it's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It's an untapped.
Did you not see what happened at the Olympics? Showing the whole entire event, what it did? When you show the whole entire event, you see the build-up.
You could go on that stream and watch everything. I want to watch nothing but the discus throw.
Well, if you have concentrated streams on specific events, that you can get specified announcers that mold with the culture and can actually convey the message. That's gonna
listen to Michelle Carter do the throws. It was like, this is an Olympic champion.
See what I'm saying?
She was doing great. Her first time fresh out, explaining stuff. And it's like, this is what we need. Get more Michelle Carter out there on the field events. Let her and whoever her partner was, do those things. That would be a great segue, helping people like maybe that want to get involved in this after they are finished with the sport. It just opens opportunities. That's why it's great seeing what Sign is able to do with NBC and like what Otto did when he retired. Like it's pretty dope that we do have these people that are that were greats in the sport, still staying in the sport, being able to impart that knowledge to other people.